Welcome everybody to our weekly training. I'm so excited that you're here. Today we're talking about the success model and what it can mean for you creating abundance and ease. But I want to start off with the morning that I've had because I was on with a copywriter. Not that you need to have a copywriter, but we're working on some specific projects. And she was reminding me of how it is that my clients or our clients end up finding our community. And so I thought it would be fun to do a little checklist or a little poll today and see if this is how you're feeling. So we were talking about how Shanda Wright, one of our master coaches, when she first came to She's Creating an Empire and to work with me, by the way, my name is Melanie Greeno, CEO and founder, that she felt like she was doing everything she knew how to do to get ahead, but it wasn't quite enough, right? Have you ever felt like that? If you've ever felt like that, drop a 1 in the chat. Now, she also was saying that, oftentimes what happens is we're taught a certain way, right? There's a life model, I guess, that we're taught, right? Go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job, get a house, maybe 2, get a car, and all of a sudden the weight of the world is on your shoulders. Have you ever felt like there's so much weight on you, you're almost paralyzed from action? If that's you, drop a 2. Now, I also, and then the copywriter, whose name is Sarah, she's lovely, said back, do you mean like it was like a house of cards and you were juggling too many balls and like any minute it could just come crashing down? If you've ever felt like that, drop a 3. Because I feel like, the clearer we are with where we're starting, like if you're brand new here and you're that person that right now, like you're like, no, I've not felt like that in the past. I feel like that right now. I want to say this. Every part of your life, you're going to have those pressures. Every part of your life, there's going to be times of squeezing, right? The times of squeezing are there to produce good character so that you can actually get past, whatever it is, the lesson that you need to learn. But we don't want to stay there. And unfortunately, the way we've been taught to live doesn't create success. Actually, as a matter of fact, there is no abundance and ease in it at all. It's stressful. It's hard. It feels like drudgery. And oftentimes when people come to our community for the first time or events like you're experiencing now, they would say in their own words that they felt numb inside, like they should be happy, but they weren't. Like they have the house and the kids and the car and the stuff and the thing, and they're supposed to be satisfied, but they don't really feel anything about it. They feel pressure, they feel overwhelmed, but they don't feel good like we're supposed to feel, right? And it was funny because, Shanda and Sarah were talking about the fact that there's all these spiritual gurus out there right now that are like, life's supposed to feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. Well, how many of you have had that experience of not feeling good? Like not feeling good in your own body, not feeling good about your finances. You open your bank account, you're like, delete. You close the tab really quickly. Or you go to the bank and you're like, duh, I really hope this card works. You go to purchase something. And you've had that experience of not feeling good. And then you feel like there's something wrong with you because you're supposed to feel good. If that's you, drop a 4 or it's been you in the past. I know some of you have been here for a long time. And so you don't feel like that anymore. But there was a time where you felt like that, right? Rita's like, yep, me, right? And I love how honest you guys are being, because really the truth is that for anything to change in our lives, the way we do it has to change. Now, the problem, and I'm just going to we'll just talk about the problem just for a minute. The problem is that, and we were talking about that this morning too. The problem is, you can't go to your parents and ask them how they did it because you don't want the results that they currently have. How many of you know people right now that's your parents' age or your parents or your parents' age, and they can't retire? Or they can retire, but not enough, or they've struggled their whole lives to get ahead. And the reality is they have barely enough. If that's, you drop a 5, because I know a lot of people like that. And my mom is a beautiful, amazing, a lot of you know grandma, but I wouldn't go to her and ask her how to build my online business because she doesn't know. She doesn't know how to do that. Well, that's finances and their parents for a lot of people. You can't go to your parents and say, well, how do I become a millionaire? They don't know. Or how do I make my first $100,000? They don't know. Or how do I create residual income or multiple streams of income or start investing or, God forbid, even get started on crypto, right? Because they just don't know. And so the model, the actual life model, business model that we've been taught, it's broken, right? And I love that. That will be me in 10 years with early retirement. Yikes, I'm about to change that. Yes, I love that you're focusing on the right things. And so when we're taught a model that's broken, what's actually happening is we're playing a game that's been rigged against us from day one, right? You're like, imagine we're playing, I don't know, chess, and I teach you the rules of chess, and we play for, I don't know, a couple hours, couple days, couple weeks, couple months, and you can't win. And then you go somewhere else and learn from another chess master that the rules that you were taught about chess, they're the wrong rules. Like you literally couldn't have, if you sat there your whole life and played that game of chess, there's no way you could have won. That is how most people are doing money. They're doing life. They're doing relationships, that self-love, right? Because the model itself, the rules of the game, well, they're not accurate, right? The worst way to get money is to work for it. It's like the hardest way to get money is to go to work for it, right? But we have to start there. We always have to have a job, and we have to have something to get us started, unless you know another way. But the purpose of a job isn't to stay there for 45 years and retire on what you couldn't live on in the first place. That's not the purpose of a job. The purpose of a job is to get cash flow so you can invest in things that are actually going to pay you long term so that you can one day not have a job, right? So it was really interesting in this conversation because I realized through, a several hour interview actually, that what I really truly believe in is creativity. I believe that you and I are the creators of our own reality, and that we can build whatever life we want, have whatever career we want. Now, it doesn't mean that tomorrow you're going to become an astronaut. Clearly, if you're a 50-year-old female, you're most likely not going to become an astronaut tomorrow, right? So I'm not talking about ridiculous things, but I am talking about the fact that if you wanted to make an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month, that is completely doable. It just means that you might have to change the way you think about earning money. It means that if you wanted to have better relationships, that is completely doable. What has to change? Well, you have to change, right? The way you do it has to change. But what if there was a playbook, a cheat code that could help you identify what rules you're currently playing by? What game are you even in? Are you playing the right game? Think about this. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, is the game that you're playing going to get you the results that you're wanting? And the way you're playing the game, are you following the right rules? So I'm going to talk about abundance and ease, because that's what we talked about, right? The success model, how it can create, oh darn, right? How it can create, you guys are funny, how it can create a life and a business that's built on abundance and ease. Now, the first rule of the game that we're taught is that life is hard. We have to work hard. We have to overwork. We have to please all the people, especially women. I mean, oh my gosh, you have to please your kids. You have to please your husband. You have to please your parents. You got to please your friends. Blah. Really? The only person that you need to please is you. And then you hear that and you're like, well, I don't want to be selfish. Okay, well, do you want to teach your kids that they can be, do, and have anything they set their mind to, but then work at a job you hate, surrounded by people you don't want to be around, giving up on your hopes and dreams so that you can sacrifice for your family? Well, guess what they're going to learn? That's a broken rule. Like, that's a broken rule. That rule does not help you win the game, right? So we have to learn a different set of rules. Now, with the success model, what we've done is we've pared down over the last 15, 20 years of me coaching people, helping them through, take Shanda. I saw Sydney Crow, actually. I'm gonna give her a shout out. She actually went from 0 sales in her network marketing business in May to becoming the top 10 recruiter. I don't know if it was the top recruiter. If you guys know, it was the #1 recruiter confirmed in her company, right? In the, I think, country. So how did that happen? Well, she learned some rules that helped her succeed. Now, did it happen overnight? Heck to the no. Okay. Here's what I want you guys to know. Success is a journey. It's not a destination. And the road of success is not straight. It is more like this, up, down, and it's all over, right? So the rules of, it's really cool. The rules of success, the road to success, the rules of success are finite, right? When you learn the success model, which you guys are going to get more of coming up here in the next couple of months, we are just getting started. We're very excited. We've launched Get Success Coaching, which the name may shift a little bit because it's a brand new product for us. But it's like, how do you learn the rules to great relationships, to doing money the right way, right? Like really the right way, to building businesses online or bank accounts that matter, or brands, right? Maybe you want to become the top recruiter. Maybe you want to set out to build a charity. Like, I don't know what you want to do, but you have to learn the rules of success. And then you have to practice the rules. And that happens through, of course, accountability, community, right? How many of you have found that the community, she's creating an empire, is one of the most powerful forces in your life? If that's you, drop a 6 in the chat, because we are not meant to live on an island alone. So the success model, when we looked at, okay, well, how have our clients achieved crazy great results? Like, we're talking, some of them have been able to leave their full-time jobs. Some of them have been able to become the top recruiters in their company, actually several of them. Some of them have built brands online where they've now been invited to be ambassadors for different brands, improved marriages, just all the things, right? Money, 60 million in debt paid off, right? 60 million in debt paid off in this community. So when we started to assess what needs to be learned to have that happen in someone's life, we broke it down to what we're now coining the success model, and it'll most likely become the Empire Success Model, or Empire Success Method, actually. So actually, we'll just claim that right now, Empire Success Method. If you guys like it, drop a 1 in the chat. How would you like to learn that method? How would you like to know step by step exactly what you need to do, checklist, in the 4 buckets of your life, right? Life, business, right? Money and time, to be able to create success that's repeatable. It's on replay. You can do it as many times as you want, over and over and over again, right? Yeah, see? Okay, so here is the framework, I guess, that we have distilled it down to. And we're going to learn more about this, but I really wanted to just start having the conversation with you guys about where you really are at. How committed are you to your future? Do you know other people that need to learn this? Because now is the time to invite them, right? When we're at the very beginning and they get to learn along with us how to do this thing. And so, because I'm going to say one more thing about that. One of my favorite quotes in the world is, the problem with humans is they think they have time. Now, I can't remember who said that. Somebody could Google it. I want to say that it's a yogi or that dude Buddha. That dude. It might be that dude. But the problem with humans is we think we have time. There are a lot of people that are struggling with their mental health. Now, when I say mental health, I know that 20 years ago, mental health meant, just depression or whatever. But mental health is the feeling that you have every day. It's the anxiety level that you live with. It's the stress level. It's the faith and believe in your future. It's like there's a lot that goes into mental health, and mental health spills out into all of the buckets of your life. So when we started to look at this overarching mental health women issue, what we realized was that there was a few key factors in really helping somebody learn the method that could be repeated over and over and over again to get great results. So one of those things is we have to really rewire our thinking, the money, trauma, drama deal, right? Depending on how you were raised, by who you were raised, by whom you were raised, what you're used to earning, what you're used to spending. All of this creates a level or a vibration or a way of being in your life that is very replicatable. It will repeat itself over and over and over again. This is why lottery winners win a big bunch of money and they're often broke within a year, because they don't know how to think like a millionaire. They're just given the money. Now, I know a lot of you probably have been praying for the money, but what if we started praying for the mindset to deal with the money? What if we started really getting to a place where we recognize that it is not the money that solves the problems. It's the way we think that allows us to use the money properly that solves the problems. Okay, so that's number one. Where Shannon and I were talking about the fact that people, right? Yeah. So people, I love this. I'm going to talk to Trisha. I want to address your question here in a minute. So, because I think it's a really powerful question. So we are not taught success around money, period. We are literally taught poverty. And what I mean by that is we're taught to make a certain amount with the hours that we have. We trade the money, trade the time for the money. Then we get the money. Then we pay our bills and we, do what we can. And then we're taught to take whatever's left over and save it. The problem is that money is supposed to go to work for you. So the model that you've been taught is like actually broken. So what do we do instead? Well, we go to work for the money for sure. We keep our expenses low. We pay ourselves first, not last. That's really important. We pay ourselves first, not last. You're going to learn more about this inside of Get Success Coaching, but I'm going to give you some very quick tips here right now that you can do. If you're paid, let's say you make $3,000 a month, before taxes, before your bills, before any of it, you need to take your percentage and you need to put it in a separate account to protect it from yourself. And that money needs to be available. Obviously, I believe in having some money set back. Cash is king right now. Won't always be that way. But also having money set aside out of that portion that you took, a particular part of that needs to go to investing, a compounding something. Now, I am not a financial advisor. I am never going to say, hey, you need to invest in this. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you how to find the information that you need to make the right investments. Ponzi schemes are not one of them. There are people that are going to guarantee you results. They're going to say, give us 10 grand and we guarantee you 20%, 30%. Anytime anyone says, I guarantee you a return, run away with your hair on fire. It is a Ponzi scheme. It's illegal and you're going to lose your money. Not right away, but always and eventually. Okay? So this is some of the stuff that we need to rewire, which is the second part of what I'm talking about. Rewiring your brain, reparenting yourself, reprogramming yourself so that when you go to make decisions, the framework with which you're making that decision is now an accurate framework, because inaccurate thinking is actually one of the main causes of failure, right? Inaccurate thinking lack of self-control, lack of self-discipline, and the list goes on. There's 14 of them actually. Clearly, we can't get into all of them in the next 8 minutes, but I want for you to start thinking about the fact that you are the creator. And I know that you've been programmed for failure. 98% of the population has. It is not your fault. 1,000% not your fault. So Trisha, I love your question. How do I convince my 40 plus son to join? Wording, please. I wasn't the best role model. Well, first of all, Trisha, you did the best you knew how to do when you were taught a broken game. And your son is a 40-year-old man who can get the training, personal development, and everything else that you're currently seeking. That's why you're here, right? You're here to become a better human. And he has to want to become a better human too. Just because you taught him a broken game by default wasn't your fault. It wasn't like you set out to teach him something that didn't work. That's not what you intended. You intended to do the best with what you had, right? Just because that happened does not make him a victim. It makes him or puts him in a position to want to desire more if it's in him to do. For example, I come from parents who are beautiful humans, but they were small business owners who did not understand investing. They did not understand the profit first model. They did not understand really any of that. They did sales, they made sales, and then they paid their bills. They raised my brother and I. We had a lovely life. It was fine. However, meaning like we had clothes on our back and food on the table. However, I did not stay in the level of thinking that their problems were created on. You see, there is this coaching, obviously, that's why we're here, right? So I want for you guys to understand that you can't really make a horse drink. You can lead him to water. How could you do that? You could say something along the lines of, hey, Joe, I've been learning from a couple of experts on how to conquer the money game. I am only a baby in my learning. I do not have the capacity to teach you what I'm learning, and nor do I want to. But if you wanted to learn, if you did have a desire to know more about XYZ, then I could get you connected to those experts and you could talk to them about what the options are. That's how you would do it. You don't try to convince him that what you have is the best thing since sliced bread. What you do is say, I'm learning and you can learn too. And if he doesn't take the bait, then go learn it. Don't worry about him. I know that as this is going to be a little bit, you're welcome, Trisha. This is going to be a little bit hard. Where are my moms at? If you're on here and you're a mom, I want you to drop a 10 in the chat. If you're a mom, drop a 10 in the chat. Because here's the reality. As moms, we somehow have been taught that we sacrifice who we are as women, our goals, dreams, and desires, put them on the back burner to raise kids. I am so grateful that I've always been a bit of a black sheep. Like I would not follow the rules. Like people are like, well, you have to do it that way. Shannon has seen me do it 1,000 times. I'm like, I'm not doing that. They're like, but that's how it's done. I'm like, well, I'm not doing it. They're like, but that's how you do it. I'm like, no, that's how you do it. I'm doing it this way. And she's literally seen me do it a lot. Okay. So I know that you've been taught as a woman that you should be, sorry guys, the wind is slamming stuff, that you should be sacrificing it all so that you can raise a good family. That literally is a recipe for disaster. I'm just going to lay it out there. You becoming the best version of yourself you investing in yourself, you learning. Your mind is the most powerful tool that you have. You got to grow your mind the same way you would tend a garden. If you needed that produce to be able to, if you were a farmer and needed the harvest to feed your family, that is how I would want you to tend the garden of your mind, right? Like you'd protect it, you'd nurture it, you'd weed it, you'd water it, you'd pray for it, right? You would not suffocate it, stomp on it, and like put it on the back burner till your kids are 18 years old. Now, if you've done this, it's okay. I realize everyone's teaching you to do that. I get it. However, do you think that you would be a better woman, more value, feel better about yourself if you are becoming the best version of yourself on a regular basis? If you are learning the rules of the game and playing it better than anyone else? What if you could set your kids up for success? And now clearly 40-year-old, all you can do is do it yourself, and they will watch you, and they may start asking questions when they're 40, right? But if you have a kid under 15, you need to or could do what I did. And the moment I found out that I was playing in a rigged game that I could not win, I changed tactics. I went all out at investing in myself. I got in the program. I read the book. I did the thing. I was on the events, just like you're doing now. The difference between me and all of the people that I started with 15 years ago, they did not stay the course. They spend a couple grand on maybe a couple of courses or an event or two. And then they're like, well, this isn't clearly working for me, or I got this one thing, and they quit. They quit on their dreams. They quit on their vision, because you know why? It's hard. It's hard to stay focused in a world that's unfocused. It's hard to stay in a state of developing your mind when you're exhausted already. Like, I get it, right? Like, I remember I can only read in the morning. If I read at night, it doesn't stick in my brain. So I would read in the morning. I would listen to audio at night because I could hear it better. Yeah, best investment you ever made was in yourself, right? So as I continue to invest in myself, Brenda Isaac, I see, is on here. She's watched it. She's watched me invest in myself for the last probably 10 years, 11 years. She's seen me go from here to there. She's watched it happen, which is why she's here, right? It is hard to swim upstream in society's river, but it is not impossible. And our success model is the life raft, so to speak, of you being able to get into a boat with people who are paddling with you. So as you're going upstream, you're not alone in it, right? Now, imagine being able to build a success model into your home, into your relationships, into your finances, or like Shanda's doing, use it to choose a husband. Can you imagine the amount of marriages that would be way better off if they started from a basis of success in their finances, in the way they thought, in the way they communicated, right? So I just wanted to take a little bit of time and go over, we have the success model. You guys are we actually started the Get Success coaching. We do it every week, right? So you can do that. We do have a live event coming up if you want to attend. We're going to be at the Kelowna retreat in Kelowna, Canada. The retreat, I think there's a couple of beds left, one or two, because we moved some of the staff into another house. So I believe that is the case, but we can confirm that. And then there's also the day training. And the day training tickets are completely reasonably priced, but it's going to be all about what we just talked about. How do you shift away from all of the broken rules, broken game that you've been taught, and shift into a success model that's going to drive your results in the direction that you want to go? Now, I will tell you this, and I don't even know if I told Shanda this. So Shanda, you're going to have to tell Heidi this, because I don't think I told anybody this. What I'm going to do for the next 48 hours, anyone who gets a day ticket for training is actually going to get a bonus ticket for free for 48 hours. So Shanda, that's for 48 hours. That means we've got Wednesday, Thursday. So let's just say, let's keep it easy. Thursday by midnight, Eastern Standard Time. Anybody who gets a day ticket for the day training is going to get a guest ticket for free. Okay, now this does not include the stay and the boat day. It doesn't include food. You can add that on if you want to. And that add-on is not a 2-for-1. Okay, it's not. Only the training, not the add-on, nothing else to go with it, just the training ticket. Now, the reason I want to do this, I know, right? I'm so excited. The reason I just feel compelled to do this right now is because after the conversations I've had today, we must expose people. People are suffering at unprecedented rates with all kinds of stuff that's really solvable. It's really solvable to not have debt that you can't pay off. It's really solvable to make more money, to have better relationships, to have a beautiful home. My marriage is better than it's ever been. But trust me, if I didn't have the skill set that I have now, the ability to put myself first, the ability to set strong boundaries, the ability to control money, the ability to make money, the ability to envision my future, I will tell you right now, I would be divorced for sure. I would have not the business that I have now, multiple businesses that I have now, right? I would not be a healthy human. I would not be, I'm telling you, for real deal. And when I think about that, it makes me sad. And as I was talking to this copywriter this morning, this beautiful girl, she's like 35 years old, doing everything she's been taught how to do. And as we're talking, she's like, the world needs this. Like, my friends need this. And I realized that if we all sit back and don't take the action, it's not just us that loses, right? Like, I can go live on a beach in Thailand. Okay, great. But then what about Carly and Kyla and Sandra and Brenda? And there's a lot of you that are under Facebook user right now because you didn't put your name in. Trisha, right? Like, I love you guys. And I don't want for you to get to the end of it and say, why didn't somebody show me the way? So here's what we're going to do. Thursday, until we can track this on our end, from now, which is noon, to Thursday at midnight, anyone who gets just the training ticket gets one guest for free. It will not happen again. I'm just letting you guys know that. This is the only time it's going to go on. If you bought a ticket before, congratulations. That's amazing. This is a bonus for any of you that have been like, oh, I really want to go, or I want to bring a person or whatever. It is not retroactive, and it will not happen after Thursday. So you can be mad all you want to. Take it out on me. Don't take it out on Shanda. I love it. And Lisa says, I hear you loud and clear. Let's tell the masses, let's stop the suffering. Yes. Listen, Lisa owns her own business. She's done everything she's been taught how to do. And she's still like, she wants the next level for her family. She's a successful business owner and she wants the next level for her family. As a matter of fact, her family the whole family is looking at coming to the training. So I'm so excited. So retreat is August 17th to the 20th, I think. Maybe Shanda will put it in the chat. You guys can book a call with Shanda if you need to. Book a call with Shanda. Oh, 18th and 19th. There you go. 18th and 19th. Book a call with Shanda. Shanda can put up the link to do that. You can book a call with her if you need that. If not, you can go ahead. Actually, why don't we just book a call? That'll just be easier. So what I would like to see is for us as a community to get really serious about success. And you're going to start to see the new program rolling out. There's some really exciting stuff. If you want to be a part of the Get Success coaching program now, you can also book a strategy call. So there's the live event happening in August, but there's also the opportunity to jump into a call with us in like the next 20 minutes, I think it is. We have every Tuesday we actually have a training that enables you to learn the Get Success model and get coaching and feedback and support in business, branding, time management, money, right? To start to master these things so that you can set you and your family up for success. So love you all. Love, love, love you. The replay is in the Facebook group as usual. Go tag a friend, tag somebody that needs to hear this. We will put the call link in there as well in the free group. Shannon will do that right after here so that you guys can grab that call link and make sure you book your time. And audio video tickets, no. And that's the thing. I can't stream it. I did look into it. We're not going to be able to stream it. I'm sorry. You do, Trisha, if you're not in the Get Success coaching program yet, do that because that's recorded. It's, access anytime. You may be in there already. And if you are, forgive me. But the actual event in Kelowna, we cannot stream or record. So just the way it's laid out. Love you all. For those of you that are in our Get Success coaching, see you very soon. For the rest of you, go ahead, get yourself booked. And I look forward to seeing your success. Our goal is to impact 1 billion lives through 1 million coaches globally in the next 10, 20, 30 years. And we cannot do that on our own. And people need what we have. So let's do it together. We'll talk to you soon, okay? Remember, you're not in this by yourself. Bye for now.